E-commerce is the greatest business opportunity of our generation.
What is up, people? It's your boy Kaj here with my co-host Josh.
What is going on, everybody?
We are friends and business partners. We have been selling online for 8 years, have done close to 3 million in revenue total. And today it's just going to be me and Josh, and we're going to go over some of the more recent news in the e-commerce space. So first, we're going to touch very quickly on Amazon announcing that they're getting rid of partial shipment splits, and then we're going to dive into the TikTok ban and how that's affecting the e-commerce space and also Amazon.
Yes.
So first, I'll just dive into the partial shipment splits.
Yeah, Kaj, wait. Let me ask you a question. Amazon told us they weren't going to raise any fees on sellers this year. Everyone celebrated. Champagne bottles were being popped. I could hear it in the background. However, then Amazon announces they're getting rid of partial splits. What does this mean for the Amazon seller?
Yeah, so Amazon did not raise fees. They did not raise FBA fees. That is true. However, and we all really knew this was coming, they are going to find ways to squeeze our margins. So the first thing they did was change the reimbursement structure. I won't go too much into that, but essentially they made it more difficult to get reimbursements. There are more hoops that you have to jump through. The time window to apply is shorter, and they're not reimbursing you as much. So that's the first way that they got around no fee raises. The second way is they're getting rid of partial shipment splits. So when you're sending in an FBA shipment, right now you have three options. Minimal splits, which is where you send to one warehouse. Partial shipment splits, which is where you send to maybe two or three. And then Amazon optimized, where you send to about 4 or maybe 5. And so if you're not familiar, Amazon has what they call placement fees. Minimal splits, when you send to one, you're going to have the most amount of placement fees, which is what Amazon charges you. However, your shipment fees, if you're shipping via UPS, for example, are going to be the cheapest because everything's in one. You can get things into the least amount of boxes, maybe even one box, depending on how big your items are, and you'll have the cheapest shipping. Then partial is kind of in between minimal and Amazon optimized, which means you're going to send to 2 or 3 warehouses. So since you're sending to more warehouses, your placement fees will be less. But since you're dividing the same amount of units up into different boxes, you're going to have a higher shipping fee. And then Amazon optimized, they're going to give you no placement fees, so you're saving money there. But because you're sending now to 4 or 5 different warehouses, and Amazon is also spreading those shipments out around the country, you're going to have a much higher shipping fee. So each one has its pluses and minuses, and I'm not going to get into all of those right now. But the fact that they are taking out the partial shipment splits just means that there are a lot of sellers who now are either going to be forced to go minimal and pay those higher placement fees, or be forced to go optimize and pay those higher shipping fees. So once again, it's just Amazon finding another way to kind of reduce our options and squeeze our margins, which is a little bit frustrating, or a lot of bit frustrating, but I'm hopeful that with all of the noise and chatter on Twitter and LinkedIn, people like Mark Cuban and Elon Musk seeing what's going on in the Amazon space, not just in regards to this, but with the Chinese sellers, with accounts getting banned and having terrible customers or seller support, I'm hopeful that there will be change at some point. Obviously, it's not going to happen in the near-term future overnight because Amazon's such a behemoth, but I'm hopeful that within the next, few years, there might be some new regulation and policies that force Amazon to actually change for the better in regards to how they relate to sellers.
Yeah, I mean, I was just doing a shipment last weekend, and I felt like I was, when you book a flight on Frontier or Spirit, and it's you have the carry-on bag fee, you've select your seat fee. I was like, what's going on here?
That might be one of the funniest things I've heard. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy. So
you need that's a tweet. You got to make that a tweet. Sending it an Amazon shipment is like booking on Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, the amount of fees
so
is
funny.
Insane. But yeah, we'll see what Amazon does moving forward, and hopefully everything works out in the end, and we continue to make decent money on Amazon and continue with our businesses. So the other piece of big news, we got the TikTok ban. Cajua, are you selling your phone for $15K on eBay, or are we not? I know your phone's in new and good condition.
Nah, but you're not getting the data on my phone. However, if you need a phone with TikTok already downloaded, just hit us up and we'll hook you up for a fee, of course.
Yeah, I was wondering that the other day, because this morning I was like, how in the world are people doing this? Because it's like usually like when you sell a phone, like you like factory reset so that
Exactly.
you don't so you get all your information off. It's like people are going to be selling their phones, and people are going to forget that their like login for their bank information is going to be.
There's going to be a lot of identity theft.
Yeah. But okay, talk to us about the TikTok ban. What in the world? What's going on? I know we're a little late here. We're coming in a little late on this topic, but what's going on right now, and is this good or bad? And how do you see this affecting like something like the creator economy that's currently working with Amazon on influencing certain products for certain individuals? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say we're late. We're still in the middle of it, right? So, what today's date is the 23rd.
Yeah.
So the ban happened a Saturday evening, right? Everyone, if you try to go on the TikTok app or online, you saw the notification saying you can't use it because of what's going on. And then I wrote a tweet about that with some thoughts. And then the next day they were like, oh, just kidding. We talked to Trump in the last 12 hours. This definitely wasn't a planned outage, which I think it was with that kind of turnaround, but there's no way to actually know. Yeah. To get more context on how creators are using TikTok to make money, check out the episode we did with Tona.
Yeah.
I forget which episode number it is. We'll get that flashed across the screen.
And I'm sure the link will be in the description.
Yep, but listen to that episode. But essentially, TikTok they have the best algorithm by far in terms of virality potential. And with TikTok Shop, creators are able to post a video about a product, link it to the shop, not only get paid directly from the brand, a retainer, but also make a commission per sale. And creators were making a lot of money that way, and a lot of brands were blowing up that way. And so that was something we had looked into. We didn't have a lot of success with that. But it was really, really powerful for creators. And with that being gone, one of the reasons a lot of people want to keep TikTok around is just because of how good it was for business, which is true. And obviously there's the political side of it. There's the national security concerns. There's the free speech argument, all of those things that get involved with it. But with having TikTok banned purely from an economical standpoint in the creator economy, it's definitely a loss, right? There's no other platform where you could make money as a creator like you could on TikTok. I'm hopeful that Amazon, X,
Instagram,
Facebook, that they'll come up with a shop that's just as robust as it was on TikTok to make that competition. I also think it's really important that we have that competition for Amazon too, because with online shopping being so focused on Amazon, TikTok was the first company that really just blew up and started taking some of those sales away from Amazon, which, I mean, at the end of the day is good because having that competition is better. Like TikTok started with lower referral fees than Amazon. Like Amazon's at 15%, TikTok started at like 3%. And I think by the time we were on there, it got up to maybe 6 or 8, which is still way better. They had way cheaper shipping, right? So just a more competitive marketplace. And a company that was actually had the ability to compete with Amazon. So from that side, I think it's definitely a loss seeing it go, but I hope that some other companies see what TikTok was able to do and release similar features with shoppable videos, because then creators will just be able to do that on those platforms.
Yeah, Kaj, I mean, we've almost been a little bit affected by, the TikTok influence of certain products, because one product that we have a little bit of a relationship with, not exclusive with, actually came on Amazon in October and is absolutely killing the game in that specific niche. And, it says like on their main photo, it's like, TikTok, viral product. Some of the reviews are, I would say, a little bit questionable in terms of their good versus bad reviews. But I mean, we had to turn down that keyword that kept triggering for that auto campaign, because that product was doing so well and so many numbers that it was kind of eating up a ton of our ad budget for that specific product. So that's just one way that, we've been affected by the TikTok, the beautiful machine that TikTok is. And that's not really, a terrible thing for us, because it's bringing more individuals potentially into this space of our product, which is awesome. But it's a really good competitor. And so now we're really trying to get that brand to really up their game too, because that main competitor is really coming in with insanely good photos and just a really good listing. So hopefully we can get them kind of rolling a little bit better. But yeah, I think that was the most interesting thing that we've experienced with this whole kind of TikTok thing.
Yeah, and I think that's actually kind of happened to us twice. Like, there's another brand that we have where like our main competitors are just killing the game because they have some of the top TikTok influencers for that niche promoting their product. And it's like nowadays it's really, really difficult to launch a Amazon native brand and only run PPC on Amazon. Like, you need to have that branded traffic coming from other platforms as well. We've definitely seen it affect us in that way too.
Cajua, are we going to learn from our lesson this year and not be so crazy on TikTok lesson? This year?
Well, I mean, at this point, we have to wait at least 90 days until we go back to TikTok.
That's probably good for us, though.
Yeah.
It gives us a little bit of rest, for a little while.
Yeah. Well, and we have like 3 to 4 brands that are very close to. Guys, we have some really sweet brands on the horizon that we're about to lock in.
Yeah.
So what I think our strategy moving forward with a platform like TikTok and influencers is, and we talked about this in our 2025 goals, like, staying focused, keeping the main thing, but still encouraging and pushing and advising our partner brands on how they can go about finding those influencers.
Yeah.
So I think right now, like, our services don't include finding and managing the relationship with TikTok or Instagram influencers, but still just feeding that information to the brand and saying like, hey, look, this is what our competitors are doing and this is why they're killing us. Maybe you should go do the same thing and we can give you some ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, it makes it even like, again, the product that we had absolutely explode in volume in the past couple of days. We have no idea what happened with the product. The product just went from like 60K in grocery to like 4K in grocery overnight. And obviously we were not ready for the demand there. And we have just no idea where that extra traffic came. And
but it came from off Amazon, that's for sure.
It came from off Amazon and it came from somewhere. So, I mean, we're still trying to figure that out. But if you know where that traffic's coming from, that becomes 1,000 times more valuable, because hopefully you'll be able to repeat that.
Exactly. Yep. Well said. So do you think that TikTok will get sold, or do you think it's gone forever after the 70 days?
I don't know. The other thing about TikTok is that they promote a lot of Temu products, and Temu products are fine. But again, it's kind of like I feel like it's like the Chinese Amazon of things.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I imagine some deal has to be done. I think America loves TikTok too much for them to ban it. But again, with the surveillance and all that back end stuff and information that they get, I don't know. I know my attention is not as on TikTok. It's on other apps, but
sure.
Just me. But I imagine the deal's going to have to be struck eventually. It's just how much money is somebody willing to pay for something like this. So.
Yep. My personal hope is that it gets sold, and that it's sold to someone that's not Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos, for the sake of competition, right? Because if one of those guys have it, then it's like, all right, now there's no more competition. They're just getting bigger. Yeah. So if someone else who doesn't already own a social platform buys it, I think that would be great. Keep the market alive. You know what would actually be crazy? I just thought of, what if Walmart bought TikTok?
That would be insane.
From the baby boomer brick and mortar to the Gen Z app.
Honestly, that would be really good.
I just hope that it gets sold. That there's no more national security risk around it, and also that shoppable videos become a thing on Instagram and Facebook, I mean, it already is on Amazon too, but people aren't scrolling on Amazon. But I just really think if Meta came up with shoppable videos, because there's so many, especially like the millennials, the Gen X, the baby boomers who are not on TikTok, but they're on Instagram and Facebook all the time. And they would totally buy on a shoppable video.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't exist yet.
Exactly.
So I would love to see that, but I'm sure that's a lot of work for them to figure out how to do.
Yeah, for sure. Indeed. Cajua, any other thing you want to discuss or talk about here?
Well, the crazy thing I was thinking about in regards to the TikTok ban is just going back to platform risk, right? As Amazon sellers, we talk about, how to keep your account healthy, how to not worry about it, your account getting deactivated. But I don't think I've ever once thought until within the last week about Amazon itself getting shut down.
Yeah.
Which obviously I'm not worried about that right now, but that's a totally different kind of platform risk.
Oh, yeah.
When you're doing e-commerce.
100%.
And the funny thing is we were trying to get on TikTok partly in regards to, being multi-channel and just God forbid, but if anything happened with our Amazon account, but then instead TikTok just got shut down. So that was a plot twist.
The risk went up. Interesting. That's rare.
Very interesting.
All right. Well, then also, we just went through this whole thing with one of our main products. It really, sold super fast. And Cajua, what did our repricer do? It gave us a little bit of bump. Talk to us about SellerSnap for me.
Oh, yeah. Look, you gotta make sure you have SellerSnap. Gotta make sure you have the yo-yo. Also, and I've been saying that I was going to make a SellerSnap YouTube video to go into some of our other repricing presets, but there's some settings that you can put in there. So like if you're the only seller, do this. If you haven't had sales within the last 24 hours, do this. And so I kind of have those repricing set in there. And on this one product, because the sales went up so much overnight, we became the only seller, and then it just increased our price even more. And our ROI on a product that was already really good, I want to say 35 to 40%, we went up to like 60 to 70% ROI. And it's just incredible.
Guys, if you want a SellerSnap tutorial straight from Cajua and me, let us know. Comment SellerSnap below and we will get that out to you. All right. All right, Cajua, we good? We wrapped up here?
Let's land the plane.
All right, guys, if you guys got value from this episode, give it a like and subscribe to Ecom Unlimited so you can stay updated on all of our new content. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.